Pankaj, then do you believe that it's time to enforce these guidelines that perhaps have been put in place by the Yogi Adityanath government in Uttar Pradesh throughout the country? Because it's about the health for everyone.
Yes, I totally agree. Government of India actually should implement the most stringent laws across the country to safeguard the public health, because this is not a question pertaining to any one state. So intensive inspections, display of information, but this display of information of what? If you want to tell the people that who are the people working in a particular shop or in a particular restaurant, that is a different thing. So there should not be any discrimination in punishing the culprits.
Do you fear that this order is discriminatory? Is that the charge?
See, this is not the charge, but any order, any rule, there is a scope of misuse by the lower bureaucracy. So, while implementing all this, I certainly would say that Yogi Adityanath ji is very right that such practices are heinous crimes and utterly unacceptable. There is surely no question of tolerating any kind of adulteration, not only in food items, but in medicines, in paneer, in vegetables, in everything, because all this poses a grave threat to public health. And public health, of course, has other dimensions also. Apart from food items, adulteration in our culture, adulteration in our social values.
You're saying adulteration in our social values, in our culture. How do we fix that, Pankaj? Now the entire show is about adulteration and how to fix it.
Yes, so adulteration in historical books, adulteration in a syllabus, adulteration in everything. So
who's doing that? Who's contaminating all this?
All this should also be eliminated. Yogi ji and Modi ji should take some strong actions against these tendencies also. Food adulteration, of course, is a very important thing. We should control the other dimensions of...
Okay, I love the way Pankaj ji has finally, been able to push Narendra Modi and his name into this entire conversation, because without that, Charu, this conversation would have been incomplete. Before I get an Anubhav now, to speak his mind, I want to get Sanjay Hegde ji. Sanjay Hegde ji, in the light of what the Supreme Court had said earlier, vis-a-vis the Kavad Yatra diktat, do you believe that this order circumvents that? Do you believe that, as the opposition has been alleging, they are not sticking by the rules?
Well, that Kavad Yatra was time specific with regard to the Yatra. There were certain allegations made at that point of time. But what I don't really get is, I was listening to Charu and her example of all the ingredients on a food packet and all that. How would I know whether the food is pure or impure based upon the name of the hotel owner or the name of the people who work on it? Unless I make assumptions that food cooked by this community is impure for me, food cooked by this caste is impure for me. So you can't ex facie just say that you are protecting people from food impurities by insisting that the name of everybody involved in the delivery system in the restaurant should be put out. Next, what will you say? You will say that even the company, you have to say that who was it packed by, who was in charge of which machine. So this, I don't think knowing the names makes a difference. It may, if you want to know for later prosecutorial purposes, then you are very well within your rights to have a register. Say, okay, you register your employees. You tell me who's in charge of this hotel and who will be responsible in case there is adulteration. That's fine. But to put it up prominently, maybe next step is you put it up on a website so that while you are going, while you are traveling, you can Google the restaurant and then say, oh, okay, this restaurant has predominantly members from this community who are serving there. I will not go there. That is essentially destructive of our basic constitutional principle of fraternity. There is nothing which binds people together so much as a shared meal, so much as saying that everybody's food is acceptable. I really fear that what is behind this is to give food also a caste or a community.
I think that's a very exhaustive and a good point, Charu, that Sanjay ji has put forward. And Sanjay ji, just a quick yes or no. Do you believe that this entire order will stand the test of the courts?
That your guess is as good as mine. My informed guess is that if it is presented properly, it might get struck down, because the Constitution also has provisions against all forms of untouchability.
That's a good point. That's a great point. In fact, I must say, Anubhav,